Hey guys, Shane here from the Venom Boys. Just doing a quick video today regarding the new Bandai TCG Plus app they released a couple of months ago. So if anyone doesn't know, they used to use a app called Challonge or Challenge, however you pronounce it. But that was the old style system they used to use, which I guess people didn't like it. It's the way it paired, all the percentages never usually worked how they were supposed to work. So now Bandai has this new app coming out, which isn't only for Dragon Ball, but is also for Digimon as well. With this app, you'll be able to build your decks on here, submit them into events you may play in. This is going to make it easier for when you go into an event without having to submit deck lists. You'll be able to go into a saved deck you have here, make your changes on here, and be able to submit those straight through the app that way, so that when you have an event, it's easy to access. But let's get into and have a look at the app at the moment. I'll give you a quick run through on a couple of the stuff you can do with the app and what it has to entail, for those who don't know, because this wasn't a app that was really, I guess, promoted. We only found out because of our locals and them having to use it for tournaments now, and not only that, I guess you could say through the Facebook pages, but sometimes the way they promote things is a bit lackluster, so being able to find this sort of information is very hard. But anyway, let's have a look at the app anyway. So when you start this off, you'll have a login section, and you create your account if you don't already have one with the Bandai code. And then once you do that, you can create a profile which has all your, I guess, your username and other little bits and bobs, whether you're playing Dragon Ball or Digimon. But with that said, if you have any problems with that, I had a bit of a problems at the start, leave a comment below and I'll be able to tell you how I resolve those problems. It's a bit harder to explain it unless I show it again, which if I need to, I'll make a dummy account and do it again. But just for the top 4 tabs here, as you can see, new arrivals, event, product, and promotion. So new arrivals to me, I guess is just going to be tabs with new products, new features coming out within the app. It could even be new ban list stuff coming out. We're not 100% sure, but at the moment, we're just under the impression that it's going to be any new set stuff, whether it be main set, subset, extra decks, all that sort of stuff, up to the in-app itself. For events, this here should show and display all of the upcoming events. So like when we had Fest or Nationals or Regionals, we assume that this will eventually be displayed here for people to see, with the locations, capacity, and all that sort of stuff. I'm not sure if they're going to be putting their pricing support within this itself or just the event, but we'll obviously have to stay tuned for that. With product, this just makes me believe they might show a new product being released or soon to be releasing new products. Not really sure how this is going to go, but I guess we'll find out when we get to that. Promotional style, I think this is just another Randy tab, similar to Arrival, just announce promotions. You know how you get the ones where you go to a store, you buy a box, you may get a certain pack with it when you buy a box within that promo period. I'm assuming it's something similar to that. So for my events, I'll give you a quick rundown how this is, I guess, run. So you can essentially search a location here to find best what suits you, or you can just search your local up above. So my local is Southern Games, so I can search Southern Games here, and this will give me all the events they've listed for the month, or however many listings they've placed. So as you can see, we've got one the April 1st, April 2nd, April 8th, April 15th, April 23rd. So with these here, usually when they're here, it has details on the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, it'll have apply, which means you can apply to it. So this down here, as you can see, says capacity 40. There's one applicant so far. This is how much it costs to enter the play there. You can set your favorite for your organizer. Has all the details about the shop here and what kind of event it is, whether it be online or offline. Throughout, this here, you can register your deck here, where you can select what deck you want to put in here and use. To be able to check in, you have to go and do the survey first. So if you don't do the survey, you can't check in, but I'm assuming that's just to let them know that you have arrived and are there to play. With the rankings, this I'm assuming will just go through where you are sitting currently at each round, so you can go back and check that. And pairings, obviously, you can check the round table number of your opponent, so you can see exactly where you're going to be playing. And then you obviously go back to your match history and it'll tell you what has happened, the rounds, the results, and that sort of stuff. Back to the main page now. You have deck build here. Now, when you go to build a deck and you click on this will usually bring you to this takes you to a pop-up of the internet screen. So with this here, if you have a deck code, which you can get, it's not that hard. I'll show you that after, but a lot of the time you're going to have to be doing it from scratch. So basically, if you're looking for any particular card, you hit card search, keyword for any keyword like on the card to make it quicker, or you do have the card name to search it by itself, regulations, which could be best of one, you know how some cards are limited to best of ones, you know, it gives you all that sort of information there. You have a different card that's here you can choose to make it easier. Advanced search for if you have the exact card number, text, and they've got a bunch of other different selections here. And this is the regulation here. So tournament regulation, best one regulation, special best one regulation. So I'm assuming the special best one regulation was similar how we have the Union Warrior series only for the event. So I'm assuming that's what that is, where the best of one regulation is just your normal, and the tournament regulation will be just normal, but I'm assuming best of threes. So for example, if you want to look up something here, let's look up Final Flash. So if you search this in your search bar here, this will come up with anything that has Final Flash in it, and you just click on it. You can edit the amount you want to add to your deck, and then it will pop up down the bottom here. Remember, with your main number, they don't actually have a spot for your leader, so your leader is counted as your main total for some reason. So I'm assuming with this, with your leader in there, you can technically go to 61 cards because your leader technically doesn't count as part of your main. And then when you finish building your deck, if you hit this button up here that says issue deck code, that'll actually give you a deck code, which is where you can put in from that former tab. Otherwise, you can save this afterwards. If you analyze deck here, this will come up with anything you may be using. So best of one if it's usable, unusable, obviously because we don't have enough cards in here, that's why it says unusable. But if we go back to my deck, so I've actually built one on here to test. So this was built today. So if we view this here, this will have my whole main deck and my whole side deck here from what I've inputted into this. So my whole main deck and side deck is there. You can edit this at any time, just at the bottom there. Otherwise, if you want to know the statistics of the deck, it does have that as well. So if you go edit deck, you can hit analyze deck, and this will come up with all the information of how many extra cards, how many leader cards, how many unisons, battle cards, the color of the card, the different characters, the rarities, the energy costs. It does a real big breakdown of everything within this chart itself. So you can actually go through this and use this advantage if you'd like to. So yeah, so down here it says best one unusable. So if you click here, deck card count incorrect. I don't understand how. My deck card count is correct. It's 57, which is weird. I'm not sure if they have updated that, but it wasn't a problem earlier today. Back to the main screen as well. With this here, hit search. You can search a shop in your area, a card search, an event search. Other than that, it's pretty much generic. You got messages. I'm assuming that's for pricing or then you get in contact with you. Otherwise, you get your profile. Your profile here, we have like your nickname, your membership number, and all that sort of stuff. You can go back through and check all your events attended. And this will show you all your events and what you finished, and so you can keep a record of that as well. Other than that, there's not really much more to say about this app other than that. But I appreciate you guys taking the time to watch this. And if you have any more questions, please feel free to comment below and I'll answer as much as I can. But yeah, thanks again. If you've liked this, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you again soon. Thanks.